Welcome back. This is Richard, and I want to welcome you back to the Innovation Best Practices episodes, where each episode I attempt to help you sell more and make more from your innovation program. The best practices here are both proven and practical to work for virtually any business and any innovation need. A big welcome to our listeners from around the world, at least 72 countries. Today we're going to be talking about how to use the science of persuasion to create winners. This is another in our series of how-to episodes, which are very practical and very step-by-step. And at the end of this, you should be in a position to be able to do a lot of this by yourself. And this is all about Merwin technology to the rescue. Let me give you an overview. We're going to be talking about existing products utilizing the science of persuasion powered by Merwin technology, which can often significantly and even dramatically increase the persuasiveness and sales for existing products. This is not just new products. For product ideas, as an entrepreneur, you will learn how you can optimize your chances for success utilizing the science of persuasion powered by Merwin technology. There's nothing more frustrating to me to see an entrepreneur with a really great idea and then not be able to describe it in the optimal way so that customers get a clear understanding and that they optimize the persuasiveness of their message. We're going to be talking about that today. You're going to be utilizing proven, practical, and maybe most importantly, common sense science of persuasion insights to power your ability to sell more and make more. Okay. A little bit of background on Merwin technology. It was originally developed by Doug Hall. Doug and I were brand managers at Procter & Gamble together. He left in 1986 to found Eureka Ranch. And Doug, along with two PhDs, one in math and one in marketing, worked over 6 years and spent millions of dollars of research to develop Merwin technology. This is the real McCoy. Merwin technology has been acclaimed by Fortune magazine, praised for its accuracy by hundreds of corporate users. Extensive validations of its estimates for long-term success really make this a winner. The critical evaluation criteria easily pass the scientific and common sense test, as you will see. So why is the science of persuasion so important? The science of persuasion is important because with a 75% failure rate on new products, we know what it takes to at least double your chances from 25% up to 50% or more. Doesn't mean that your product necessarily has everything today necessary to do that, but if you know where the gaps are, you may be able to improve the idea enough and optimize the communication enough so that you will be able to double your chances for success. This is about persuading competitive users to use your product, and it is a very difficult process. Users of current products have well-established habits and practices, both buying and using. It's very difficult to get a competitive user to even consider using a new product. More difficult to get them to notice and appreciate your improvements when they do try the product. So don't underestimate how difficult it is to get competitive users to try and switch to your product. The science of persuasion is going to help you with that. Here are the drivers of science persuasion, really where it passes the common sense test with flying colors. There's three things that you need to do to persuade people. First, you need benefit communication. This is where you communicate to competitive users how you meet one of their most important needs for your type of product. Second, having told them the benefits that you can deliver, you then need credibility communication. Competitive customers are very skeptical. Tell them why they can really, really believe that you can deliver the promised benefits. If you don't do this, your benefit communication will be a mere fragment of what it could be. Third, there is difference communication. This is where you ask for the order because you deliver much better benefits than some, most, or all of the competitive products. This is where you say to a competitive user, we are better than brand X on this particular benefit delivery, and it's a dramatic advantage. This is where you make it easy for them to understand why they should switch. Okay, let's get into the science of persuasion and benefit communication. It's critical that you start this process by knowing your customers' needs. You say, oh, Richard, that's so easy. No, it's not. Benefits are aspects of a product that meet customer needs. Benefits meet needs. Intimate knowledge of customer needs is critical to creating powerful benefit communication. Intimate knowledge, deep, thorough knowledge of customer needs. Quality and quantitative customer needs, all of this needs to be researched. At a minimum, you need to do quantitative research to understand the hierarchy of customer needs with specific and details. What's the most important need that customers have when they buy your product? What's number 2? What's number 3? That helps define the relative importance of needs and, correspondingly, benefits. Ideally, you want to know how customer needs vary, often dramatically, by customer segments. This is another form of research. Let me give you an idea, give you a very specific real-world example of how one group of consumers, in this case wine consumers, have very different segments and very different needs, and why you need to understand them. And what I'm going to share with you here certainly relates to wine, but I'm going to share with you that these sorts of differences can exist in many, if not most, categories out there today, and it's why you want to do the research. Okay, let's talk about the average wine customer. When buying wine, they want to have confidence that friends will recognize the brand and type. They want to put a bottle of wine onto the dinner table with guests that people will go, oh yeah, I know that wine, it's a good wine. They gain their confidence from brands that are advertised and that have very large shelf space in retail outlets. This is why, when people see this, they say, okay, boy, a lot of people like this because there's all this space in the grocery store, advertised brands. And remember that when you're having guests over to dinner, a bottle of wine is going to probably be the only branded product on the table, so it can say something about you. So the average wine customer doesn't know much about it, so they just kind of go by popularity. Let's talk about the very wine knowledgeable customer. When buying wine, they like to buy brands that most people don't know or have ever heard about, that they have personally discovered. Okay? They would never buy a televised brand. Remember, the average customer will probably only buy an advertised brand. Okay? When they serve their brands to friends, they want to tell their personal story of discovery. Okay? So this type of wine consumer, when they have a bottle of wine on the dinner table with guests, and somebody says, oh, that's an interesting wine, they will embark and tell you about their story of discovery. We were in Napa Valley. It was a foggy morning. We drove down this dirt road to the winery, and the winemaker was just getting to work. He invited us in for a wine tasting and shared with us some of his favorite types and years. And as a result of this, we've become very loyal customers. This is the kind of story these people tell and want to tell. Okay? Very different customer needs between these two people. Again, if you don't do research, you don't know about these important differences. Okay? You need to know about customer needs. You need to know customer language. How do they describe their needs? What words, visuals, and feelings reflected in language statements do they use? For example, what words do they use for taste? I've been in this business a while, and sweetness can be described in a whole bunch of different ways. It can be described as sweet, delicious, fruity, smooth, to name a few. You want to know what the language is that consumers use to describe a positive taste that they like in a product, in my example here. Okay? You need to know all about customer needs. Your focus needs to be on about the top 3 customer needs and therefore benefit areas, with a laser focus on the top 1 or 2. You want to have dramatic advantages in meeting customer needs, ideally the top need. If you can't do that, secondarily, the second need. And below that, you better have multiple competitive advantages on multiple needs if you're going to break through. Okay? What do you need to do to make your benefit promise credible? Well, Very simply, when you say you can do X, you better have proof. Skepticism about advertising and political claims, to name a few, has skyrocketed over the last few decades. A benefit claim without a credible reason to believe your claim is a benefit claim that only gets about 25% of potential persuasiveness. The right proof varies dramatically by the type of product and benefit claim. This is not a one size of proof fits all by any means. Some of the most powerful reasons to believe are simple and clear visualization and real scientists supporting the claim. Some of the most challenging reasons to believe are facts. People go, okay, they're just manipulating the numbers. How do they get them? And paid celebrity testimonials. Let me give you an example of a credibility example that's worked for decades and kept a number one brand number one for decades. It's about Bounty paper towels. A major need for paper towels is when there's liquid that needs to be wiped up, they need to have a paper towel. And paper towels are a very big business. Bounty has been the quicker picker-upper for decades. It is consistently used side-by-side demonstrations of total absorbency and speed of absorption versus competitors, and it always wins. Okay? Seeing is believing. This is a visualization that has been very credible and helped establish the brand and credibility in its quicker picker-upper advertising. Okay, what and how of the dramatically better? As stated earlier, it requires dramatically better communication to first gain competitive user trial and then conversion. How much is dramatically better? Well, I've talked about this in some previous episodes. Think of wow. That's the reaction that when people see a new product, when they say that, you know you're getting close or are there on having a dramatically better product. Communication of dramatically better almost always requires powerfully clear visualization coupled with impeccable integrity. To be clear, this is not easily achieved. First, you need a product that is actually dramatically better. Second, you need to determine the absolute simplest and most direct way of visually communicating dramatically better. Okay? Think of the iPhone. Okay, Apple's a master of this, as I've already indicated. When the iPod came out with its connection to iTunes, wow, thousands of songs in something that small. Remember, prior to that, we were doing MP3 players, cassette players, CD players, and you could carry around one. If you had CD player, you'd carry around, you could play one at a time. It was crazy. And the iPod and iTunes combination made it very easy to buy and listen to new music. Just an absolute breakthrough, and wow. And the iPhone and iPad, swiping and tapping functionality, very cool. Amazing functionality through apps, hundreds of thousands of them, working through the internet, and simplicity and design. Okay? And you take a look at the advertising for these products, and it delivered all of that in a very compelling way. Okay? Why is this so darn important? Well, on new products, which only have a 25% chance of long-term success, optimizing your benefit, reason to believe, and difference communication, actually using all three, can significantly and even dramatically increase the chances without making any changes to the new product. Okay? If you have a product that is worthy of wow, then you always want to make sure that you are then optimizing the communication of this wow product to your customers. On existing products, by making your customer communication more persuasive, anywhere from more persuasive to much more persuasive, you can increase sales and profits without the need for R&D, research, and other kinds of spending to increase sales. Using the science of persuasion powered by Merwin technology is probably one of the most cost-efficient ways of enabling yourself to sell more and make more. Utilizing the science of persuasion powered by Merwin technology is probably the most efficient business building tool available to any business with any kind of product. Pretty strong statement, I understand. Okay, if you want more innovation best practices, we've got them. Just go to the i2ge.com website, the number 2ge.com. On the menu bar on the left-hand side, click on DIY Innovation Training. You'll see a whole bunch of training programs there. If you don't see one that meets your exact needs, send me an email and we'll be glad to tailor one for your unique situation. Here's why I'm doing this. This is about making you innovation self-sufficient so you can do it yourself, so you don't need to hire expensive consultants like me to do it for you. Second resource, I've published 6 books. One of them is Proven Practical Innovation That Delivers Results. It's available only at Amazon in paperback and Kindle. It's priced below my break-even price, so it's a heck of a value. I love hearing from listeners. If you have suggestions, comments, or requests, just send me an email to richard@i2ge.com. In the next episode, we continue our very valuable how-to series. This is going to build on this episode, and it's going to be how to create benefit communication that connects and persuades your customers. This is at the heart of the science of persuasion, one of those 3 critical common sense factors. Please make sure that you rejoin us for this particular episode. As all of you know, I'm deeply grateful for you taking time out of your busy day to spend it with me on these episodes. I really look forward to reconnecting with you soon, and until then, please have a great day.